Hey, church family, it's Pastor Gage here, bringing you today's daily devotion from 2 Corinthians chapter 4. Let's start off in the Word today. Starting in verse 7, Paul writes this, "But we have this treasure in jars of clay to show us this all-surpassing power is from God and not from us. We are hard-pressed on every side, but not crushed, perplexed, but not in despair, persecuted, but not abandoned, struck down, but not destroyed." I want to share with you today an illustration to talk about what Paul is trying to display to us here. And it comes from an illustration I've used before with the teens, but I think it'll be handy for us this morning too. And so what we have here, the jars of clay that Paul talks about, where we have the treasure stored within us. That proves that this comes from God, not from us. And so here we have a perfect a clay pot, right? Nothing special about it, but it is flawless, right? It's perfect. It's exactly as when it was created, right? There's no cracks, there's no blemishes, nothing's wrong with it, right? But as you and I know, even though we can store the treasure within, right? You wouldn't be able to see it from this angle, would you? Only maybe a God looking down. But see, you and I know that it's different, right? We know that life comes at us, and whether we've made decisions in the past that have left us less than flawless, or maybe decisions from others that have been done to us, choices that have been done against us, have left us flawed and broken. And maybe we have a few cracks, maybe we have a few holes. And this one, as you can see, has that. There's holes big enough that, I can stick my whole finger through. It's huge, and quite frankly, way too much Gorilla Glue spent when I was trying to glue this thing back together. But you can see it's nasty, it's broken, it is cracked from top to bottom. There are imperfections that exist all around this thing. And as you and I know, my guess at least would be that if you were to relate to one of these clay pots, it wouldn't be the flawless one. If you're anything like me, you relate to the one that has a lot of cracks, a lot of holes, a lot of chips, one that's been shattered a time or two and has had to be put back together. But the point I want to illustrate to you this morning is this. Which of these is going to most adequately shine the light, the treasure that is within us through to those around us better? And so let me turn off the lights real quick. And which pot can you see the treasure that is stored within most clearly from? See, the truth is that through our imperfections, through the chips and the cracks and the things that happen through life, Scripture tells us that God uses everything for the glory of those who believe in Him. So those things that happen, these are the ways that we can shine the treasure that you and I both have within us to those around us. When we are vulnerable and when we are open and we talk about the things, we share the stories of the things that have happened to us, that is which will illustrate that the power within us, the treasure that is within, comes from God, not from us, but only from the power of the Lord. Be blessed today, church.